Hi guys, walking home here in Coronado, Playa Coronado, where I saw a video the other day about here, and it's just made me want to post a little commentary, a little warning about all kinds of videos on Panama by various people. And like I say, it's a warning, it's also a commentary that I think would be very useful for most people who've never been here or only been here once or twice to take notice of. So these people, for example, were saying that the bus stops in Coronado are not bus stops, they're taxi stops, and they're for taxis, blah blah blah. The wrong prices for the taxis, and so on. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing it's wrong with going somewhere, making a video, showing other people what it's like, sharing what you've learned. It is very exciting, and it's very entrepreneurial, and there's nothing wrong with that in the context of saying, well, you know, I don't really know much, I've only been here a day or two. And the other thing is the viewer, you know, what I'm saying is for you to be very discerning when it comes to believing anything you see in a video, especially if it seems like it's the people there are just visiting Panama for the first time, second time, or it's the first time they've been somewhere. They don't seem to speak Spanish, they've not been here for a long time. You know, I've been here, for example, over many years, so I have quite a lot of perspective on how things have changed and why things are the way they are now, what's happened to bring them to this point, and all kinds of insights. I've had long-term relationships with Panamanians. I've had experience of living in places in the interior, in the city, not just one or two or three places, but loads of places. And so I also speak Spanish fluently. Half of my family's Spanish speaking, Latin American. So when I tell you stuff on this channel, unless I'm saying, you know, this is new to me, I'm really telling you stuff that I know by not only my anecdotal experience, oh, this happened to me one time, so it must be true. Not at all, no. I'm going off a lot of experiences gathered from myself and other people I know. And often, for example, I'll ask the police, or I'll ask the immigration people, and I'll ask more than one. And, you know, overall in this country, you do have to be clear that you'll get different answers anyway. I remember I was on one street near to Parque Omar, and I was looking for trying to visit an apartment of a friend for the first time, and I asked 5 people, including a security guard, what street I was on, and I got 3 or 4 different answers. So yeah, I mean, not all information is perfect, but don't go trusting what someone says online, what someone says on a website or in a video. Just be aware of their experience and their perspective. There's a lot of strange things that I see said. Let's take another example. I see a video of El Cangrejo, a supposedly desirable area of Panama City. I would say yes, in its own ways it is. I've stayed there many times, but I've never heard anyone mention the huge casino in the main street, which is derelict because it was taken over by the government. I've never, you know, that's not a nice thing to have in the street, a derelict, huge hotel casino. And also it's interesting to know what's going on in this country. The Veneto casino and hotel shut down in April 2018, owing money to everyone from the Gaming Control Board of Panama to the electricity provider and its own employees. This wasn't the first time that the Gaming Control Board had a problem with the casino hotel, with its failure to manage money and have enough money. So apparently over 240 people lost their jobs. But that doesn't include all the hookers who they allowed to stand in front and in the entrance to the establishment. Not even lurking about, but they were allowed to operate right there in the lobby, in front, in plain view. That was how it was in El Cangrejo. That was how the street was. That was how the main establishment on that road, via Veneto, principal road, looked like. It didn't look like a proper professional legitimate, clean business was being carried out. If you walk past, it just looked like a hustler's convention. Telemetro News echoes what I say. Here's a direct quote. Via Veneto attracted so much prostitution that on its sidewalks there was a high number of women offering sexual services, which forced in recent years strong police action to prevent the development of this activity. End of quote. The newspaper Mi Diario accurately describes the present situation of the dishevelled, dilapidated Veneto, which you can see walking past. It's not a pretty sight. Here I quote directly. The hotel and casino is now a place for vagrants and druggies who get in to sleep or steal and vandalise the few material goods that remain after its closure. End of quote. And they also confirmed that the police arrested some thieves there. The site became an embarrassing and unsightly place in El Cangrejo, Bella Vista. Another example of the state of the place and how it just takes away from El Cangrejo, Bella Vista, is that they had to close one of the roads because facade was falling off the Veneto Hotel Casino into the road. So it's just a huge negative for the area. I don't know why anyone would praise the area as if they know it and describe everything positive and not describe the few obvious negatives, or at least not even in a negative light, just describe what's actually there. The only thing that's history about what I'm telling you is the fact that the Veneto is closed. There's still all these seedy people around. There's women in the street. There's men in the street dressed as women looking for business. You'll also get, if you're a male, obviously without a family, without a wife or a girlfriend with you, and you go in certain establishments that are just normal, just like the bakery, coffee shop, you might get approached by proxies for prostitutes, proxies for people selling things which are illicit. And, that's not a normal thing in all of Panama. It's not somewhere you just say, oh yeah, it's a great place, El Cangrejo, you've been there a few hours. These people have no idea what they're talking about. They've just had a slight glimpse of the neighbourhood and they want to produce a video on it. That's fine, but just put it into context. These are people who have no idea what they're talking about, really. And for perspective, I just want to say that I'm not going to go through all the positive things about El Cangrejo because they're in other videos, more or less. But I think it is important and reasonable that you expect, if someone's telling you about a neighbourhood and you can't leave your apartment to take your dog for a walk or go to the bakery or turn a corner without passing hookers, you should know about it. That's all. I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's part of the neighbourhood and you need to know about it if anyone's saying that they're going to tell you about the neighbourhood. These people have no idea that the place is called El Cangrejo and there's jokes because of that and the hookers and the big church there, Iglesia del Carmen. So you've got hookers, the crabs and the church. If you knew anything about the place, you'd know there's some jokes about these kind of things. And then you'd say, well, why are they? You just have to literally walk down the street with your eyes open to see what's going on there. It's not difficult to see. So these people have no idea what they're talking about. I encourage people to do videos when they travel. I encourage people to have their own YouTube channel. But what I don't like is when people mislead other people. It really isn't something that I like to see. If you're going to produce a video on something, research it. If you've not researched it, just say you spent 2 hours, 3 hours in this place and this is your impression. But the problem is that these people give the impression that they know the neighbourhood, that you're going to get some quality information as if some research has been done or as if they know something. Every night there's prostitutes in the street, on the corners. Even if you're not having anything to do with them, they can harass you. They harass Panamanians, they harass women, and they try and rob you. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. And so you probably won't know that unless you've been there a bunch of times, or you've been there at certain times of day or night, or you know people. And so, I know what techniques they use. I know in Cinco de Mayo as well, you have groups of women who also try that in the main shopping streets, the Central Avenue there. The police have even spoke to me about it, and I already knew, but it shows that they were quite aware and concerned that foreigners should know about it. So, just these things that I suggest you look for people who have experience in Panama, if you want to really get down to the truth. So I'm saying enjoy all the videos on Panama. Just take those with a pinch of salt that do not have any kind of pedigree. You know, it's just like, here I am in Panama, here's El Cangrejo, it's a superb neighborhood. Oh, here's Playa Blanca, it's fantastic. You know, don't mention anything negative. Don't mention anything that would seem like insider knowledge or cons and tricks to avoid, things like that, because there always are. So just to round off, one of my most popular videos is on Panama Migration Authority's requirements for entry as a tourist, and also the consequences and the procedures if you stay over the allotted time. Now, you can find a lot of different information online that is not entirely correct, is out of date, is untrue. I wouldn't dream of doing such a video unless I'd checked the official websites, the laws, spoke to the officials on various occasions, and also had my own anecdotal from friends, their anecdotal, and also from other people who I don't know. I've just asked about their experiences, their information about what their experience has actually been. So you've got the theoretical, you've got the law, and you've got the application of it. All that before I did a video on such a serious subject. The other thing to watch out for is in Facebook groups or wherever, websites, the wrong information, and people are just going off something someone else has told them. They're not even going off their own experience, or maybe they've had a peculiar experience of their own, which they probably don't understand anyway because they don't speak Spanish. And so what I would say is just be careful. I don't contradict people I see saying nonsense online because it's just so time consuming and they'll fire back, you know, so I just leave it. I don't have the time. So I just thought it's more effective doing a video like this. And I tell you what's a telltale sign as well. If someone actually says the words, I don't know, yeah? People ask me questions on this channel all the time in the comments, and occasionally I will say, I don't know, I'm not qualified to answer. If you see people saying that, then there's a good chance they understand the limits of their knowledge, and they don't have a need to sound like an expert or answer everything. And those are the people you probably need to take most notice of, the people who say, I don't know. One of the key things you can tell you're with a know-it-all who knows nothing is they've got an answer for everything. I do my videos only about things which I know, which I am pretty confident in sharing about. And I can see online just people, yeah, maybe they want to be helpful, maybe they want to communicate with others, maybe they think they know. But, you know, just the other day, what's the minimum wage for a maid? Someone just trotted out a number. And there's 2 different wages for someone who's helping around the house, depending on where you are in the country. Just things like that you find cropping up every single day online. So please take care, enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video.